North Carolina 28301.
Good morning to you. So it's under 100 degrees, so we're good.
Wow.
Because it's been hot out there, man. I'm serious.
It's been hot.
Get much hotter, brother. All of us gonna look like Africans. It's gonna burn us up. Anyway, Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Kirk Devier, he's in with us this morning. He has an abbreviated meeting with us today. He has to leave early. 8:35, and so I also following up with him. City Council member Antonio Jones has a 9 o'clock show, but I got him coming in right behind you. So, well, we're talking budget talk. That's what everything is now: budget, and so I assume we're getting there.
We're getting there. You know, we started with a good document. You know, the manager presented a budget over $650 million, about $450 million worth of general fund, and he brought forward a budget that no tax increase. Had some prioritizations towards the things that are board's priorities from our strategic plan, whether we look at our funding in education, public safety, infrastructure. Our workforce, our own workforce. And so we're working through those things now. This is a season where we see declining sales tax, property taxes. While we did a reeval last year, we went 6 cents below revenue neutral last year because we wanted to make sure we were hold the line and lessen the impact on our citizens, on the taxpayers. And so, it means we knew this year would be, a tight year, and we would need to look at how we fund the things that are important, and look at things that maybe not having an impact, and things that we need to adjust, some things we need to pause, some things we need to cut away. But I think that's what boards are supposed to do, and our staff has done a good job of giving us some recommendations around that, and we continue to, I will say this board in this budget process has been very engaged in asking for information and trying to work through the hard decisions that we have to make. When you look at whether staffing levels, or you look at levels of service, or you look at just things that may not just make the cut when it comes to whether it's a project that you're funding or certain things. But we have to make sure that government is, county government can provide the level of service it needs to its residents. That's what we're there for. But also that we're right size, and that we don't bite off more than we can chew when it comes to larger projects. We need to make sure we're investing your tax dollars in the things that truly matter. And that's things like schools and infrastructure, public safety, health and human services.
Right. So, but by law, you guys have to have something in place by the end of the month.
Yeah, we've got our next meeting on the 18th. We've also scheduled one for the 22nd, and hopefully over these next two meetings, we'll get there. One thing I've done is, as the chair, I get some latitude for the length of the meetings and the timing, and I've tried to stay between 2 hours to 3 hours. Really is kind of the max where you don't want to go. What I've found is once we get going beyond that, it gets is not as effective as we do if we kind of keep it very focused. Come prepared to ask questions ahead of time. Not get briefed to, but have have good conversation around the issues we need to address. If there's something we want to add, something we want to take away, get it over in a parking lot, so kind of in a holding area where we can come back and make some decisions on that all at one time. So when we're making those decisions, we're making them looking at the big picture, not just in isolation. So it's been a good process overall. I mean, last week was a little bit, we went from a medical school ribbon cutting straight to an agenda meeting, straight to a budget work session, because we had to move the budget work session off of another day to make sure we had attendance. That's the other thing that's important, is to make sure that, we all have, a lot of us have day jobs, and so we got to make sure we're flexible in finding the times, not only for ourselves, but also, we don't want to keep our staff there till 11, 12 at night.
Sure. Well, Wes and I were there at that meeting. That was quite incredible. I know you called in on Friday morning just for a few minutes to talk about it, but let's talk about it a little bit more. That was a major step forward for this community to have a medical school.
Transformational, Troy. I mean, Hershey Bell and Mike Nagaski couldn't say it any better. I mean, it's truly transformational for this community. We talk about economic development projects, and I keep reminding people that's an economic development project. That is going to change the look of our community and our region for years to come. We're building, we're doctors are being, created there. And, we have an opportunity to look at access to healthcare and help that access to healthcare, as well as grow this doctor desert we've seen across our region, and just in the healthcare, and just being able to just think back when your daughter was going to school. If she could have started out in middle and high school and had a path in healthcare where you go to FTCC or FSU or Methodist University and then end up at a medical school right here and never having to really leave Cumberland County. And just the economic impact that it's going to, $72 million. We're going to start this inaugural class with over 60 students, one of 150 in the nation. It's just, those are the things, this work was not started yesterday. It was started many years ago, and Mike Nagaski spoke to that in his comments. But along the way, it's been, different people that have, joined this effort. And it is truly will be, the effects we're not going to feel for years to come. But it was a great day. It was a great way to show how our community came together from all different levels, the partnerships that were built to bring that to life.
So Dr. Hershey Bell would be the dean.
He is the dean.
Right. So I don't know a lot about him.
So he came from Pennsylvania. I will tell you, through this accreditation process, he has been the driving force, because that accreditation process, to get us where we were last week, to be able to have that class, to be able to, get that accreditation done on time so that we could get, the students through the application process so we could start this fall. It was such a tight timeline. And I would say that, Hershey Bell really managed that process along with others to make sure that we stayed on track. We did what we needed to do. We got accredited, and then got, through that application process. There was, so I think over 1,000, well, multiple, probably a couple thousand different applications that came in. And there's a lot of students from, there's some students that are from here as well, which is important. But of course, there's students from, outside our community. But just, the work that has gone into this over the years, from just the construction side to staying on task to, the board of trustees and the decisions they had to make financially. The partners that came to the table, the community members like Franklin Clark and Ralph Huff that stood up as co-chairs and said, we're going to raise private dollars because we believe in this. We believe in our community. We believe in the impact that it's going to have. Our board last year, we viewed it as economic development. We made an investment in that, in that system, over $10 million. We also did some, tax-exempt bonds as well, a couple years ago. So, you just saw community members, community partners coming together to push this forward and celebrate the success, and that's what last week really was. It was a great celebration. You saw it firsthand. I mean, just a lot of happiness and joy in that room, and just a lot of like, this is Cumberland County. This is what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. Well, for those that are listening, they heard you mention Dr. Bell. I just wanted to mention who he is, and also Mike Nagowski, who is the retired CEO of Cape Fear Valley. How long has he been retired now?
Officially, so in June, really. So end of June is his actual, retirement date. Or over the next few months, we've got a ceremony. There's an event for him later this month. We named the trustee board named Dan Weatherly, who had been the COO and had been the interim CEO. We named him to the permanent position, and so he spoke last week as well. But he's been involved in this process as a COO right alongside Mike during this whole process. So, having him at the helm now ensures we keep that momentum running.
Right. And as you mentioned, two major developers. This is Franklin Clark, who is, for those, I'm a basketball enthusiast. He was the first big man.
You enjoyed that picture, I know.
I did. He's the first big man that Dean Smith recruited, and I watched him play from '69 through '72. So
we got Joe Quigg here as well, who's another kind of UNC
true.
legend, and so I don't think Gray realized it at the time, but we were actually Franklin and Joe were in the same room,
right?
And we got Gray in and took a picture between them. This has been a couple years ago, but it's something that
it's been funny.
That we'll be able to show, kind of show him in years to come.
Because he's a tall guy. Everybody said, Troy, because at 6'2", normally you counted the tallest guy in the room or nearby.
Not with him.
But no, I'm looking. But that was quite exciting.
But they led the effort, but there were so many other people that were, that involved in it. You look at Rakesh Gupta and his wife, and he was a Methodist university chair at the time that this kind of process started, and the investments they've made. You look at the Duggins family and the investments they've made. Mary Lynn Bryan, and her family as well. There's just been a lot of people that have, poured into this. The Community Foundation, recently their board awarded a grant to the hospital system as well for this, or to Methodist for this medical school. So just a lot of community partners just realizing the transformational effect that this is going to have on our community.
Sure. Well, look, and Ralph Huff, who is also a major contributor to Methodist University already, he and his wife known him a long time. She was a school teacher over in Hope County.
She was.
Yeah. When I was undercover cop, I was in her class. We always laugh about that. Let's move forward. Let's talk a little bit about these data centers, and what did you guys decide last night concerning that?
Yeah, thanks, Troy. Our board's been very deliberate in the process. So, throughout this conversations in the community around data centers, we sought to get information about it. So we've had, our economic development team come in and talk to us about the different types of data centers and just the backgrounds on them. We've done public hearings, we've done public forums to allow community input, to make sure we're hearing from the community, and understanding that an ordinance around data center development, you need to have those types of things in place to, put guardrails in place for any industry. You're seeing the state right now. There's a bill moving through, it's passed the House and is in the Senate now that puts some, requirements and laws around some of the data center developments and operations. And so we've been very, through this process. But what we've realized is, putting a moratorium in place gives us that, it gives us that opportunity to take the time to put an ordinance in place that will provide those guardrails that I talked about for the community. The moratorium just kind of puts that marker in the sand to say, okay, no permits can be put in place. No bad actors or good actors can come into place. It's just protecting the best interest of the community and the environment while we are determining what ordinance we need to be put in place. And there's a process for that. It's just like any other ordinance that we put in place. So we use our joint planning board, which means every municipality has an opportunity to have input into it. They're reviewing it, those types of things. We'll look at town halls. We'll engage our community again. We'll engage our planning staff. We'll engage our attorneys, our staff, our professional staff, and begin to shape that ordinance over. We gave ourselves a 6-month time period. We believe we can get that ordinance done in the same type of thoughtful process that we've been through, which is engaging the community. But the other thing, Troy, that I've got some comments from a couple people. Oh, you're going to hurt your future commercial and industrial growth in your community. No, what we're really doing is a signal, and I've been very clear all along. The signal to the business community is, we want to give you tailwinds when you come into the community and not headwinds.
Correct.
You need to the type of community, the type of companies we want coming into our community, whether it's a data center or any other industry, is the ones that understand what the expectations are when they come to the community,
right.
and want to work with us and follow those guardrails and be part of that. And putting this moratorium, gives us the opportunity to put the correct type of ordinance in place without the concern of anything coming in. Gives us that protection that we need so we can move forward on the ordinance. And then, the ordinance will guide the expectations for businesses that are coming in. So we're not anti-business, we're not anti-growth. This is about making sure that when a business looks at our community, they understand the expectations of our community. And those are the type of businesses we want here. And our economic development team has understood where we've been every step of the way.
Right. Well, look, I'm going to cut you loose here. I know you got another important meeting to go to. I'll give you final comments before we break, but I appreciate you coming by, and certainly we're going to watch this thing as we move along. This process is, I think the process is more transparent this year than it's been in probably ever, the whole budget process with you guys, and we do appreciate that.
And that's important. I mean, this is one of the biggest decisions and biggest votes that this board takes every year on how we spend tax dollars, how we allocate your tax dollars. And it's important to make sure we get that level of service, take care of our workforce, keep that tax burden low on our citizens. It's extremely important. Want to encourage people, you can always, we record do them live as well as record every budget work session. Our next one is on the 18th of June at 2:30 in the afternoon. We'll go from 2:30 till about 5, and so I want to encourage people, and if you've got input, you can always send us an email. We've done our public hearing on it, but you can always send us an email or leave us a voice message, or get input into us, write us a letter the old-fashioned way. But we'll continue to work through that budget process. Our board is doing a good job as we move through that. So we'll finish that in June, and then there's a lot of other things going on. We made some movement last night, continued forward progress on our unhoused support center, so we're staying on track with that. We had some decision points we needed to make last night, schematic designs, brought aboard, finalized the contract for the operator, just staying on track with that, and that's important. We made sure it was that the staff is bringing us the items and preparing the board to make sure we stay on track with that for an opening next year, over 100 beds. And so we're looking forward to doing that. And then just again, we'll continue this process with the ordinance as we move forward with that. That'll happen over the next few months. We started last week. And I know I've got a couple minutes. I'm actually going to a groundbreaking for another investment in our community out in the Military Business Park. So I do apologize for having to step out, but it's yet again, industry and businesses making investment in Cumberland County. So you want to do that. So I want to make sure I'm there for that and can thank the people that are making that investment. So there's a lot of positive things happening, Troy. We've got a lot of work to do. we're far from being able to sit back and enjoy the fruits of the labor, so to speak. But, you know, we've got to keep our sleeves rolled up and focused. We've still got a lot of work to do when it comes to, you know, our infrastructure in our schools and all the other items that we talked about, what we're doing with mental health. And, you know, we'll continue to chip away at some of the things. We're looking at some opportunities with Cape Fear Valley when it comes to our mental health side. And so we just got to continue the momentum.
Right. Appreciate you. Well, look, turn it back to our most able producer, Reverend Dr. Carl Brinkley, and we're going to go to a break, come back. She'll be having across from me City Council member Antonio Jones from District 3. I have a vibrant discussion about what occurred on yesterday. We'll be back for more following this.
With a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to be signed this weekend, how long before fuel prices come down? That is an unknown. Authorities are urging residents and visitors to prioritize water safety after 4 drowning deaths were reported across western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina over the weekend. A bill awaiting Governor Josh Stein's signature is prompting Onslow County commissioners to rethink their budget plans before the June 30th deadline. County commissioners say that Senate Bill 889 would require them to use previous year's property values instead of updated revaluation numbers from this year. Greenville Police Department Chief Richard Tyndall has announced his retirement. Chief Tyndall has had a career in law enforcement for more than 30 years. Stanley Cup is officially back in Raleigh. A parade for the Canes will be Saturday in Raleigh. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The City of Fayetteville government offices will be closed Friday, June 19th in observance of Juneteenth. Household and yard waste along with recycling will be collected as regularly scheduled. The Cumberland County Sheriff says as the weather warms up, a lot of families will be spending time on the lakes, rivers, and waterways. Whether you are fishing, tubing, swimming, or just enjoying a day on the water, safety should always be your top priority. The sheriff wants to remind everyone that a fun day on the water can quickly turn dangerous if proper precautions are not taken. Always wear a properly fitted life jacket. Life jackets save lives, and everyone on board should have one available. Never drive a boat while impaired by alcohol or drugs. Check the weather forecast before heading out and be prepared for changing conditions. Ensure your boat has all the required safety equipment, including navigation lights, fire extinguishers, and a sound-producing device. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
A nice night is in the forecast for June in North Carolina. Lows dip into the low to mid-60s under partly cloudy skies. Tuesday, it's not so hot. Mostly cloudy skies will help to keep temperatures down, but humidity isn't bad. Highs are in the mid to upper 80s. Wednesday, we're heating up. Highs are back in the upper 80s to lower 90s with only a 20% chance for rain. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the NCN Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robeson, Hope, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
A nice night is in the forecast for June in North Carolina. Lows dip into the low to mid-60s under partly cloudy skies. Tuesday, it's not so hot. Mostly cloudy skies will help to keep temperatures down, but humidity isn't bad. Highs are in the mid to upper 80s. Wednesday, we're heating up. Highs are back in the upper 80s to lower 90s with only a 20% chance for rain. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the NCN Weather Center.
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams and Associates, we make things right.
And we're back now for the second half hour of this, 36 minutes past the hour here. Did want it to get in, and it just happened to work out that way. We didn't plan this like this, but Council Member Antonio Jones, who is from District 3,
Yes.
and lives there in Hillendale. You live in Hillendale, right?
Tiffany
Huh?
Pines.
Oh, in the Pines,
Right around
okay,
the
yeah.
corner.
Yeah, in the Pines, I got you.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
in the Pines off of Rose Hill Road. Was appointed at one time, and now he comes back as the elected person
Yes.
inside of that district. Doing a lot of great things in the community, and know that. I wasn't able to attend your Doug in the District.
Yeah, that was good. That was interesting.
Yeah,
That was good.
you know,
I love it.
that's a good little moniker there, Doug in the District.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
yeah.
matter of fact, I think he's supposed to be somewhere today or Thursday, one
He
day.
is tonight.
Tonight, right.
Yep, at Dorothy Gilmore.
Right, okay, Dr. Okay, right. So that's with Lynn Green, isn't it?
Lynn Green.
Right, okay. That's District 5. But look, straight to the point, you know, you and I, we don't mess around with this. Let's talk a little bit about the budget process and the vote that was taken on yesterday
Absolutely.
at City Hall at City Council. So some folks are saying that some of y'all didn't vote for things to be a particular way, blah, blah, blah. I'm hearing some pushback on that. What's the truth of the matter of that, council member?
Here's the truth. The truth is we took a vote. That's my alarm, sorry. We took a vote yesterday evening to finalize a budget with 0 cent increase.
Okay.
That passed 9-1. One person opposing. That was not the person sitting in front of you.
Right.
That passed. And so on Monday, that will go to an official vote. And so what you're hearing is a play on words. And I'm just going to be very straightforward. It's misrepresentation of the truth at its highest. I don't usually address a lot of things, but some of my constituents called and said, hey, Jones, we saw this, not in disbelief, because they already knew what I had articulated to them before budget, during budget, things of that nature. So last Friday, we had to take a vote
Right.
on, it's some things. No one wanted a tax increase. My district they knew that before budget season, stayed on it. Look, this is what we're looking for. So the city manager, he's doing his job. He presents all of them. One with no increase, 3 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent. So we agreed, consensus. A consensus was taken. We was like, okay, we're going to go forward with no tax increase. And so that set the tone after he presented it, and everybody, shared their thing. So let's go back to last Friday. So I think that's where it's coming from for, I think, 4 of us. In short, some items were presented off of what we call the parking lot, a wish list, basically.
Right.
Where these are some items we want in the budget at 0 cent, whatever it is. And so the motion pretty much was, or the act for the consensus was simply, do you agree with this in concept? Well, we didn't, because there were some things on there that I had some questions about. There were some certain amounts. You could move them, so I wasn't okay with that. So it was not a vote that last Friday on 0 cents, because we had already given council consensus, the staff consensus that we want 0 cents. So you just have to work through that. So the issue is, I believe, is sometimes we can't always get everything that we want.
Correct.
We're not going to agree on everything. That's just not going to happen. I'm not one, you all, to just sit by and not question things. My constituents put me in this place for a reason. And I don't know anybody, personal budget, business budget, that doesn't go through that. And so if it's deemed, you don't agree with this, don't agree with that, that's my right. Because even if I brought something, you might not agree. Certain people, so that's understood. So 4 of us voted to not accept what was given, and you can see that. I have some things that will be put out there. For instance, it was initially like $250K for expanding Western Fayetteville Transit. Now, the reason I didn't want that on there, I'm gonna be very clear, I support West Fayetteville 100%. We've already talked about doing a hub and all of that. This year wasn't the year. We specifically asked Director Neal, who's over FAST, do you have the capacity right now to expand? Clean answer, no. If we gave you this money, do you have the answer? No, I cannot. I don't have buses. I don't have capacity. We have buses in order now that will be coming next year. She said, next year I'll be ready. Right now I'm looking, combing for land, looking for X, Y, and Z, because it's not as easy as starting a route. So she made that extremely clear, extremely clear. I can't use the money in that capacity. So for me, it's on the chart. I'm like, no, we can move that money, because one of that parking lot items I put up was benches and trash cans, shelters. That's what I wanted. So I said, we can take that money and put it over there. So it was some other things I just didn't agree with.
That makes sense. I mean,
so it was voted on. So it passed, of course. That framework was going on. It was not a vote on 0%. We had already given the staff consensus that that's where they were supposed to be working from, was 0 cents. So that was one of the items. The other one was OCS, and this was yesterday near the end of the meeting. There was some confusion. I wasn't confused about it.
And the OCS stands for people that
I'm sorry, Office of Community Safety. That's the newest department that the council stood up and need to build out. So one of the things I advocated for was it was presented as a recommendation in the budget with 0 cents, was 2 teams, 2 vehicles, where I think there was some confusion, because I asked very clearly yesterday to ACM Yates, who was our financial guru. Listen, I need you to make this very clear. Were these 2 teams in the original budget at 0 cents that you proposed? His answer was yes. Some didn't realize that. They thought it was in a 2-cent increase, 3-cent increase. Well, it's not. I advocated for it. And the reason why it ended up being on the parking lot, because some felt as if we only needed 1 team. I wasn't one of those individuals. So that was another item, because it was packaged in this thing. All of us had things, but that's one of the things I just could not agree with. I couldn't agree with. So for me, I had rather have the second team than the downtown manager position. That was just me. So I expressed myself. So long story short with that, I also made it clear. I want to ask them again, tell us what that extra money was going for. It was to expand the team. So what I'm getting at is the team that I was advocating for, both teams, they were already proposed at 0 cent increase. So all of that, Pastor Troy, to say this, it's a gross misrepresentation. And Jones didn't vote for anything, any type of increase. My communities know. I've had community meetings. I had individual meetings. They know exactly what I was working on, the items that I was going to put forth. So it's disingenuous. And I'll say this and toss it back to you. Whether people put 20 people against me next year, I will be number 21. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not intimidated by anything. But I can't sit back and not ask questions, whether you think it's a good question or not. It's it just doesn't make sense. So I don't understand it. Not that I'm really concerned about it. I'm not, because I believe people will see.
Right. So I saw the post by the mayor, and he had 5-4 on that. And so, but you're saying that that's inaccurate.
5-4 had to reference to, don't know what anybody's speaking to. Some of the residents, again, they called because they knew what I voted for. They knew what I had advocated for. That had to be from Friday.
Yeah, from Friday.
That had to be. I mean, I don't know, but I had to be from Friday when we were voting. And concept, I think that was the word or whatever. Do we agree in this? And I couldn't, just because of some of the things that were in there. That because all of us are fighting for things. Let's be honest. Everybody has things. So in concept and the amounts, I couldn't, because I know once you push it forward. Okay, we still need an opportunity to talk it out. So I just could not, in good faith, and that's what I'm there to do. That's part of my role, to do that. So I'm not sure what that alludes to, but again, the constituents let me know that. So that's the only thing I can think of, because yesterday the vote was 9-1 to pass it at 0 cent increase. That's what we had been working on. That's what we had given consensus to staff to work on from there. So you just had to pull. You had to pull from something. You had to eliminate some things, find some money, create some money, and you pull from some things, for instance, that may have cost 2 cents over here. You pulled and tried to make it work, try to squeeze it in 0 cents. And so that's what our task was. I have no idea what it's referencing, but that's from I'm just speaking about Antonio. I've never supported, never said that I want an increase for tax. So that was just disingenuous. It's semantics at its best.
So I guess the four, and I'm just saying, is that now you're not speaking for them, but I'm trying to identify the four. That would be you, Councilmember Ferguson, and Councilmember Green, and Councilmember 1, 2, 3.
Had to be McMillan.
McMillan, right,
yeah,
McMillan, right.
McMillan. If that's it again.
No, so I'm saying right.
Yeah.
I'm about sure that's you know,
Yeah.
I'm counting them up. Okay. Well, again, you know, but it was a 9-1.
Yeah, that's what moved it to Monday for the official adoption.
Right.
9-1. No mention of that. And people say what they want. I mean that from the depths of my heart. You're fine, but it was a little disingenuous. And so, again, I don't pay attention to a lot of social media. I do what I need to do, engage with my residents. So they made me aware of it. Because again, certain things I just don't give my attention to. It's too much work.
Yeah, because I saw it.
It's too much work.
I saw it, and the way it read.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, now I'm just saying I'm a regular person here, but
absolutely.
The way it read,
Yes.
it was like 4 of you all wanted a tax increase, and 5 people did not want a tax increase.
Right, and that is not true.
And that's not.
It's not. And I recommend everyone go back and listen. Go back and listen for yourself. Now you're gonna need some dinner, popcorn, and everything else. It's gonna take a while, but you go back and listen. Not
Right.
once did I say I was for. Again, we go back when we first met the first few times. I think in City Hall before we moved to that small room over there. We talked about it, no increase, and everybody like that's what we're wanting to track, and we gave direction to council. I mean, we gave direction to staff. Look, can we build this out from 0 tax increase? And that just takes some time, because again, what was proposed was just that, a proposal. He proposed, and again, one was with no tax increase, base level services 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. That's his job. So we go through it and pull, because even with 0 cents, there may be some things, and we found some money that we could actually pull from those areas to actually be put in the budget. Like, for instance, before we went over to the smaller room, one of the things that I put on our parking lot was the drones. We know it had been talked about, drones as first responders, and I put that on there. ACM Yates actually put that on there. That was one of the things I wanted to push in, because I said, we're gonna find money. Everybody is putting what they want to on there. I'm using that as an example. So you have to fight for it. You fight for it. So that does not mean you are, let's go ahead and do 3 cents and all of that. Now, some may have done it. Antonio did not do that. So I don't know where that's coming from. So my constituents need to know that. And so that's what I'm doing. Because like you said, you read it, it's like, man, they did that. No. So I actually said, go back and see, and you can see for yourself. 9-1, what's the vote? We're going to disagree in between that things, because you might not want something that I have put on the board to potentially be funded. And if you don't have 6, I told him take 5 to stay alive outside of that motion, man. That's real. That's real. That's real.
But Mr. Yates is the assistant city manager.
Assistant city manager, yeah. So
Right.
I just use that as an example, because we all submit things that for consideration. I call them wish lists, because that's what they are. So the goal, again, is finding money for that. And so you have to ask questions. I don't see any process where you don't ask questions. And again, if someone thinks a question is unwarranted, that's your opinion. You can ask something that I think is unwarranted, but that's your right. That's your right to do that. People
Well, that's
put
what you're elected to
yeah,
do.
people put you in those seats for a reason. And again,
Right.
we disagree. I'm just amicable, Mr. Troy. I can disagree with somebody and it roll off my back. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to be ornery. I'm not going to yell, not going to raise my voice. I'm not going to do any of those things because, one, they're unseemly. Number two, it's just not me. Number three, I can still get my point across without it. I may be extremely frustrated with something, but I'm not going to attack you personally, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I didn't do it during my campaign. I made a vow that I wasn't going to do that. I didn't care what anybody else did. I'm not going to do it now. My end goal now is just keeping my district where they are, meaning in a good place and pushing them forward, and that's what we were doing, and we were very intentional. All of my groups, and I have a fantastic group. I created a District 3 collaborative, a collective across the precincts and everything, so we meet quarterly. So I'm very engaged. Just because people don't see doesn't mean you're not doing it. I do a lot of work behind the scene to keep them informed. Even throughout this budget process, man, I sent a lot of updates out, not just on social media. I talked with folks, get their input, things of that nature. So they were surprised because they was like, we know you were pushing for zero. You told us, you kept us abreast, and what you do, you present to everyone. You present everything. When the city manager presented his, this is what he's presenting. That doesn't mean we agree. This is what he's presenting. He had to present it to us. And so again, we gave direction. The council gave direction that we were going to look at it from a 0%, and it just took some time. It got a little heated, a little interesting, because again, it's people want your projects and things of that nature. They want things done, so that's where that came from.
So Dr. Hewitt and his staff, they attend with you guys at your annual strategic planning session.
Absolutely.
And they're listening to you all talk about what you want. And I would imagine that's how they walk out of the room with an idea of trying to shape a budget based upon that meeting.
Yeah.
Of course, I think they had a 3 cents increase in one of those proposals, which is not a bad thing. It's just they're presenting that to you to say, okay, look, this is what 3 cents looks like.
Yeah.
And then you got your other options, correct?
Yep. 3 cent, 2 cent, 1 cent,
And then
zero. All of them were, and they were recommendations. And
Right.
everything, and that's what I want people to understand. Everything up to that vote yesterday, 9-1, was a proposal.
Right.
Everything that we bought, any ideas, it's a proposal until the majority of the folks in that room, the council of the 10, agree on it. It's a proposal. It can be good. Man, I can bring the best plan ever. If the consensus isn't there, that majority isn't there, it's just not going to move. So we worked through that. So they did their job. They presented it to us. Even going back to the strategic plan, it got cut short, and I think that caused a little issue, because then, and the reason I say that, that's a lot to do within that time frame. I think it was storm or a storm event or something like that, where we couldn't complete it in its entirety. And so I think there were some misinterpretation of what some of the priorities were. So we walked through that, I think the first meeting or so. So we walked through that strategic process. Did you really capture what we were saying, our priorities? So that took some time. That took some of the meetings as well. And that rightfully so, I understand. We want the staff to make sure that they want to make sure, and we want to make sure that you are capturing the heart of the consensus of council, so that they can do going forward. But even with that, when they present, it's a recommendation. When they give it over, it's up to us to do whatever it is that we need to do with it. And again, we took a consensus early on that we were going to work from a 0 cent increase. So that just means we're having to dig through, eliminate some things again, and just walk through that process. And it's going to get contentious, because some things that we may want may not be there. So that's the reality of it.
Just as a citizen too, I'll be honest, I have concerns if it appears that the mayor or council members are talking to staff in a disrespectful way. Now, I know they work for you guys, you see what I'm saying? But these are professionals. Dr. Hewitt and his staff are professionals, and you know, they shouldn't be talked to like they're little children. I mean, you know, they make handsome salaries, and they're trying to carry out what they believe that you all want.
Right.
I think I saw a little of that, and that concerned me. You know.
Well, for me again, I'm accountable for it. So we're accountable for each other. It's
Right.
collective. But at the end of the day, it's me, and I don't disrespect anybody. I mean,
Right.
I can really disagree, and we're gonna get passionate. We're gonna get passionate. That's just not me. That's just not how I operate. I mean, you would know I'm serious. I'll let you know. I just have ways to do it. So that part.
I'm
is
not targeting you,
characterized
but
by-
I
no,
just-
no,
I-
no.
that's what I'm
I
saying,
understand.
right.
But
But-
at the same time, people would look at if that's occurring. Guess what? They will look at all of us. I
That's
understand.
true.
I'm a part of a body. I'm a part of a body. So I get that. And so one of the things I do make sure is that staff know that they are appreciated. They're working for us. They did a lot of work. They did a lot of revisions on this because again, we gave a directive. You know, we're going to work from 0 cents. So that was a lot of reconfiguring of numbers coming back. Even after meetings, you know, we're still emailing them and finding out. So they're working, they're burning midnight oil, trying to present to us what they think we have articulated to them individually and collectively. And so again, that Friday, when that list came out of here's some potential things, all of us had the opportunity to present items. So all of us did. That's goes without saying. So again, for me, that Friday when it was presented, okay, do we agree in concept? No, because we already established that we were working from a place of 0 cent increase and backing things out, cutting. I know people don't like that word, but some things have to or were replaced in order to fund this at 0 cents. So you want that? There's some give and take, man. There's some serious give and take. And so,
and the cost of everything is going up.
It is. It's going up. And so I just believe, I knew we were going to kind of get here even before I ran, just looking at last year and how low the rate went, which was a good thing for the citizens. So I had an idea what we were, if I got into office, I said, you know what, we may be faced with some challenges again. So we were, again, any municipality, any county, well, the county spoke as well, state, anybody, you're faced with some challenges because you want the same level of service, but things don't cost the same. So you have to start looking at things to take off. And again, for me, let me speak for me, sometimes it's, I want this right now, but can I do it? Can we do without it? And so it's our job, it's contingent upon us to go back to the constituents and say, hey, we were working from a place of 0 cent increase. This is why this didn't occur this year. This is why this occurred. So I encourage people, when this budget document goes out, go online, go read it. Definitely go back through the budget chronicles, on Fay TV. Go back and look, and you'll hear a lot of dialogue. We'll hear a lot of dialogue. You'll hear a ton of dialogue. And one of the things, again, you will not hear is this person right here saying he is he is against a 0% increase. That's simply not true.
Cool. Well, look, this time is up. I got about a minute or two left before you go into your show. I give you the last word for the morning show.
Really, I want to say thank you. I thank council. Again, this is just me, and I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. Forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. That's just me. I'm being honest. I don't hold any grudges, but I'm grateful that there's 10 of us. Everybody had their reasons, but it did pass 9-1 with 0 cent increase. That will be official Monday. So citizens, I just want you to know, if you have questions, reach out directly to me. Don't go to a third party. You have questions, I'm always here. I'm very accessible, so you can reach me at any time. But at the end of the day, I'm moving on from that. After today, I'm done with it. I'm gonna say my piece. I'm done with it because guess what? We have some people here that need our help. That's gonna need what we have to offer, and I have a district to continue to look out for. And the people of Fayetteville, I'm excited. Thank you so much for entrusting us with this budget. 0 cent, I'm very proud of it. And again, don't believe the hype.
Right. Anyway, District 3, Dr. Antonio Jones, and we're getting out of here to wind this up. Thanks so much for our most able producer there.
Yes.
And that is Reverend Carly Brinkley. I did see Reverend Paul come in here. He wasn't wearing a Knicks shirt today. But anyway, though, you know, so I'm glad we passed state at least for one day.
Oh, yes.
Let's see, wait, turn around. Now, he ain't got nothing on today. I'm colorblind. It's either purple or blue or something I'm wearing now. That's all right. I'm going to mess with him because he was trying to start stuff yesterday, trying to gang up on the brother. That's all right, though. I can handle it. Let's wait till football season. He better hope that the Steelers win every game. If they don't,
that's going to be challenging.
I'm coming after him. Don't be looking down, look up. We out here, man. You guys have a great day.